You know, to say I didn't see this coming, that would be a lie. Because now I did expect to win. I'm not saying that I thought that we were going to lose, but if you had told me that, hey, Baylor's going to beat Texas, I probably wouldn't argue it too much. Texas is so inconsistent this year. It's and the thing is, both games we played before this one in the Big 12 tournament. Let's be real, they weren't good teams. We won by very small margins. Did not look like a team who was looking to make a push for any kind of a championship, whether it be the big one or just in this tournament. But I did expect to win, and Baylor showed up, and Baylor scrapped, Baylor fought, Baylor executed, and Baylor won. Baylor deserves everything about this game. To start the game, Texas looked good, but that says nothing. When we played Kansas earlier, right near the end of the season, we looked great in the first half. Texas looked awesome. It was some of the best basketball I've seen us play. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish. Baylor finished. Baylor's been finishing in these last couple of games. Baylor had a terrible regular season. Horrible regular season. We had a bad regular season. Baylor had a really bad regular season. But this tournament has started up. They beat Nebraska. I messed up on that. It wasn't Iowa State. I said Iowa State in my last video. They beat Nebraska. Huge win over Kansas. Destroyed Kansas. And then they played us. And, we've beaten them 24 times in a row before this game. And they came and they won, And we had our chances at the end. We always do. Very few games, A&M blew us out. And I would say Oklahoma blew us out. But other than that, our other losses have all been down to the wire. They've been to teams we shouldn't lose to, maybe excluding Missouri, who Missouri has really shown that they are one of the top teams in the conference, and rightfully so. But we've been in there. But it's like we put ourselves in such bad positions. We don't execute at the end. We get in these shooting funks, and we can't, I'm a broken record. I know I am. We have no identity on offense. I think on we have a very good defensive team. I'll give us credit for that. And that's probably the only credit I'm going to give this team during this video. We have a good defense. We can D up. And the thing with Baylor, even these past two games we played Baylor and others, Baylor is an outside shooting team. They don't have a lot of inside presence. Lomers is their only inside guy, and usually he's garbage. Tonight, he wasn't anything special, but he got offensive rebounds. He scored a couple of points. He did pretty good. He did enough to help him win. But Baylor is always an outside shooting team, and usually when we play them, we run a zone, and they're usually able to hit a couple. But at the end of the game, they start struggling and start kind of knocking them off the side, and we're usually able to survive. Today, those shots fell at the end. And I'm not going to use the excuse that some teams have used in this tournament, and in other sports of we played them twice during the regular season and we beat them twice, and it's hard to beat a team 3 times, and so of course they beat us. That excuse, I don't see it, because here's the logic. Then you're saying, well, if we'd split, then this game would have been easier, or if they had beaten us twice, it would have been easier for us to win. If you want to be a champion, then you win the hard games. I'm not saying it's easy to beat a team 3 times. But what I'm saying, if you want to be a champion, then you beat that team the 3rd time. You get in these hard games, these tough matchups, and you win. You don't make excuses after the game and say something like, well, they know us and we play them. No, you need to win. Whether they know you, whether they were in your huddle while you were calling plays. If you want to be a champion, you don't make excuses, and you get the job done. Texas didn't get the job done. So, and the whole, the Big 12 tournament, and it's been a fun tournament. Texas has not played well. We won. We got a good slot of games to start off, and the door was open for us to win the tournament. I mean, we should have beat Baylor, I thought. And then we play, Mizzou or Oklahoma State. They're playing right now. Actually, me personally, now I'm going for Baylor. I hope Baylor wins the whole tournament. I got no hard feelings against Baylor. We beat them 24 times in a row, and it was about time they got through, and they did. So, congrats to Baylor. They deserve all the credit in the world of that team. And it's a team that, a lot, and I probably would have done the same thing. Oklahoma State fans were cheering for Baylor hardcore to beat Texas. really, personally, and this is not a shot at the Oklahoma State fans, because if I was in your shoes, I'd probably do the same thing. But really, you look at it, I don't know if you want to play Baylor rather than play a Texas who's so inconsistent. At least Baylor's finding an identity. Texas, and it's hard to get mad at this Texas team. You know, I've been harping on it all year. Now going into the tournament, and we'll be in the tournament. How far we'll go, I don't know if that's going to even be a topic of discussion. But at this point, it's hard to get mad at this team or start pointing out their flaws when you point out when these same flaws keep occurring all year. It's not going to change. If it changes, it'll be a miracle and will be some Cinderella story. But I don't know. At the end of the game, they were up by 3. They hit a free throw. We were fouling, and they missed the second shot. There were 3 white shirts around the ball, 1 green. The green came up with it, and then we had to foul them. That's called effort. That's called execution. That's called winning the game more. Baylor won the game more, and that's why they won. They didn't win because we beat them twice during the regular season, and we had to play them a 3rd time. They won because they were better today. And we didn't. We weren't playing like champions, and we don't deserve the championship in the Big 12 tournament. So Baylor, I'm behind you. I hope you guys go on and win the tournament. And for everybody else making excuses for your team for losing, I've never been a believer in excuses. And if you lose, you lose. If you want to be a champion, you win the tough games. That's why I like March Madness. Some teams say, well, the teams that got in March Madness probably don't deserve it. Well, the top teams who say they do deserve it, go win it. It's in your hands. Go win it. Texas didn't win today. Still, Hook 'em Horns, Texas fight. Can't wait for March Madness. I love basketball. This team is very frustrating, though. Very frustrating. Congrats, Baylor. Hope you guys win it all in the Big 12 tournament.